Hey y'all, let's chat. So listen, let me get into it. One of the things that I have realized is one of the worst things that we can do as a people, as a person, as whatever is to mess up a relationship with a good person. And by relationship, I mean whether it's a friendship, whether it's um, whether y'all trying to date, whatever y'all, whether it's with a coworker, whatever the situation may be, when you mess up that relationship and that person is a good person, right? Sometimes you're trying to date somebody and y'all just don't fit when it comes to date. For whatever reason, y'all bumping heads. He may not be what you need him to be as a man. You may not be what he needs you to be as a woman, right? So y'all bump heads in that area in terms of being together, and being able to click as a couple, right? Does not mean that that person isn't a good person just because y'all don't click when it comes to being booed up, right? Here's where the understanding comes in at. Just because y'all are not clicking in that area, it doesn't mean that you should destroy or let the relationship and bond that you have with that person just totally be destroyed just because y'all didn't click in that way. Here it is, you and your friend girl, y'all not seeing eye to eye, or y'all have fell out for whatever reason. Y'all grown apart, right? Nobody's betrayed one another. Nobody has, backstabbed or did anybody any ill will. But for whatever reason, you've grown apart, right? Yet and still that person is a good person, right? You've never had a reason to feel like they've been a bad person. Y'all just bumped heads in some ways. Y'all had some disagreements, right? It's no reason to tear that person's character down. It's no reason to go and backstab and want to, do that person something just because they no longer want to be in a relationship with you. For, y'all are no longer friends. Maybe it's a mutual agreement that y'all have outgrown each other. Y'all went y'all separate ways for whatever the reason is. Sometimes it's no reason at all. Sometimes the relationship has truly just ran its course and there is nothing left for y'all to do together. And a lot of times we have a hard time just accepting that. Why y'all don't talk no more? I don't know. We just don't. We just don't. Neither one of us saw fit to continue to invest in a relationship. I see this a lot of times with friends, right? There may be something underlying to that. And a lot of times there is. Nevertheless, neither person saw fit to do a deep dive and try to save it or try to discuss it or try to untangle the webs. So they just went their separate ways. And that is truly okay, right? In those situations, when you know that you haven't done anything to that person has not really done anything to you, right? Y'all just no longer see eye to eye. Y'all don't vibe or whatever, Don't destroy that. Don't get so mad and so butthurt that now you gotta backstab her. Now you gotta tell all her business. Now you gotta do X, Y, Z. Don't become that person. You know why? Because that person still may be a genuinely good person. And you never know when you and that person may have to cross paths again. It's not to say that you and that person will ever become friends again. It's not to say that y'all ever want to be friends again. But the reality is that the world is small, right? So you never know when you and this person may have to, be on the same team. Y'all may have to come together and think something through. Y'all may have to come together. You just never know what may happen in life where you and this person may have to just, put everything that happened in the past aside for a greater good. It may be some national cause that you and this person end up coming together on, right? Y'all could be in different cities, different states, different parts of the world, and just so happen to end up coming together for a greater cause, right? Now imagine, you done tried to destroy this person's character, done tore him down, this, that, and really all for nothing because that person never really did anything to you. You just couldn't handle going separate ways. You just couldn't handle the breakup of the relationship, right? But I believe, that's where maturity comes in at, and that's where understanding comes in at. And, it's sad that by the time we look back on a lot of things, we really will realize that, I probably shouldn't have did this, or I probably shouldn't have said that, because the situation maybe didn't cause for that. I was just in my feelings, or I just got in my feelings, right? But the damage is done. Now you have destroyed a situation with a good person. You did too much. You took it too far, right? So now it's a good chance that you and that person could never, And a lot of times people are like, they're okay with that. They're okay with that because in that moment you're saying to yourself, I don't never want to see him again. I never deal with him again. I never, in the moment you're saying that because you in your feelings. So you don't care based on however you're feeling or whatever they did. You don't care, right? Now, granted, it's some exceptions because sometimes people really do things to you that you don't never care. There are people that I never care if we talk again. Like, we never have to talk again. Like, I never plan on talking to you again, ever, for nothing. So I'm not saying that those things don't happen. And I'm definitely not giving any woman any excuse to go backtrack and be with a joker that have took her up, down, and through there and don't mean her no good. No, this is not that kind of conversation. This is a conversation for the people that you have met in your life who were genuinely good people, and they did not hurt or offend you to the point where you have to just totally cast them out of your life and never deal with them again, and just to heck with them. I ain't talking about the people that you have to do that for, because there are people that you really have to do that for. I'm just talking about the situations where they good people. Y'all don't get along. Y'all had a fallout. It's cool. Don't destroy them in the process. Don't even destroy the good part of what y'all had. Agree to disagree. Move on cordially. Move on in love. With love. Sometimes in a moment you may be a little mad. You may have a little attitude, right? But that moment will pass. And then you'll look, it'll be 5 years later and you'll think about, things that you and that person did or things that y'all said or whatever. And then you're like, you know what? That person wasn't a bad person. It's just whatever happened in the meantime it did not work out for us for whatever reason. We went through a little something. But you can't recall a time where you feel like that person backstabbed you. You can't recall a time where you feel like that person tried you or that person really did something to you. You can't recall a time where that person disrespected you or embarrassed you. You can't recall a time when they did that. And still, for whatever reason, it did not work out. But when you can't recall a time when a person just showed enough did something wrong to you, don't drag their name. Don't ruin the relationship that you had with that person just because the relationship did not work out. It's times in life when stuff just don't work. But what I see now happening so often, so frequently, is that when something don't work, we're going to put a knife in the coffin. Not only is it dead, but we're going to stab it. We're going to put gasoline on the fire. We're going to burn it to the crisp. We're going to cremate it. We're going to make sure it never, ever has a chance at life again. And that's weird and that's sad. Because when you think about the fact that you have spent a portion of your life with these people. For some people, you have given these people children, so all of the time wasn't bad. And so it's very sad and unfortunate that you have to end on a terrible note and stay on that note for the rest of your life. When you done gave this person 5, 10, 15 years of your life. And yet that's a person that when you see them, your spirit just angers as soon as you see them. When you see them, your face scrunches up and you mean mugging. That's sad. That's real sad. And I'm just thinking of, a person in my life that when I was dealing with them, I was dealing with them when I was young. And me and that person, we dealt with each other for a while, and we had a lot of good times. We had some bad times, and our bad times was bad now. But overall, I don't feel like that person was a terrible person, and even though we really did, we went through a couple things, but it never was to the point where neither one of us couldn't come back from it. We never did anything, so bad that, okay, when I see that person, I don't got nothing to say to that person, And for a long time, I probably did hold a little grudge, like, well, I give them 50 feet. They'll always have something to say to me, but I just 2-word them or 1-word them or whatever, And then I finally, buried that. And it was just like, you know what, like, we had some good times. That person, it was times when that person was good to me. You know what I'm saying? It was times when that person did things for me, looked out, So I'm just not gonna just think about only the one bad thing you did. Even the one bad thing you did, it was bad, but it wasn't like, it wasn't nothing that just sure enough buried me. You know what I'm saying? So I think about that because I just seen that person a couple weeks ago. And every time I see that person, have something to say to me like that. That person gonna always acknowledge me. That person always want to say something to me, have conversation for me, and that says a lot because, this is the person that, I was with this person. I was intimate with this person. Me and this person spent years together, spent a lot of time together, So it's like, would you want to have to see that person and then you can't even stand them? No, you don't want that. And you really shouldn't want that situation for any situation that you have really invested any time, any love, any care, any feelings into. And I understand that sometimes people really do you dirty and they really deserve to be cut off and they really deserve to not enjoy your presence and to not enjoy your hugs or your laughter or even your voice. It is a privilege for people to be able to enjoy those things from you, right? When you a certain way, when you cut a certain way, that's a privilege for people to be able to be around you and enjoy your presence, So I understand that. But, just overall as a people, I think we should just really try harder to not, just totally dismantle relationships with people when they are, for the most part, they're good people. None of us are perfect. We all have done some things, we all have said some things, and I'm one that I'm gonna say some things, Of course, I'm trying to grow and get beyond that because I know my words can really, my words have been a blessing and a curse for me, right? Because the same way I'm comfortable enough to get on here and talk my talk, if we get in an argument, you don't even really want to see me, when it comes to the wordplay that you're going to get. And I ain't going to stop till I get tired. You could tell me 1,000 times, stop texting me, stop, till I get tired. You hear me? Like, oh, I be terrible, So it's like, I be like, hey, you don't want these problems now. Don't get me started now. Hey, you stay on the good foot now. Because I can act up, But, all that's in immaturity because the desire is for growth and to be a better person and to, see your faults and do better, you know. So yeah, let me just leave y'all with that and encourage you to, try not to dismantle your relationships. It is people out here that they good people, they genuine people. They may not be, your wife. They may not be your husband, your next boyfriend. They may not be none of that. They may not be your next best friend, your bestie, or your bestie for life. But they still could be a friend, or she once was my friend. We used to be thick as thieves, and she's still all right. It doesn't have to be, everything shot to hell just because we no longer vibe the same way. I done spent years with you. Done gave you my body. Done snatched your soul a few times. Now when you see me, it's you gonna act like you don't see me. Boy, you see me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so we should never be like that. It should never have to be like that, Girl, you see me, you done set up in my grandmama's house and ate with me and, cried on my shoulders about your man. And, now we see each other and it's like, I don't even see you. Hey, you see my bag though. Like, now you got to stunt for her and act like y'all were never homegirls, like, yeah. Shouldn't be like that, but I understand the world we live in and how we move, but yeah, I'm gonna just leave y'all with that. Let's try to work on and get into the practice of not just totally dismantling relationships just because they no longer work for us, because when people are good people, I think we should keep that in mind and keep that in our hearts and salvage that. Hey, they're a good person. They're just no longer my person, right? Y'all enjoy your day.